And now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
The Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else.
Hello, America, family, friends, listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking. Today's date is the 8th of October, 2025. Excuse me. Dang, got a frog in my throat. I don't remember eating any frogs for any meal, but anyways. Folks, great to have you here. If you're listening to this show, we are coming to you from the Northern Command Center. We're back up here in Enterprise, Utah, after having been in Las Vegas over the past week and doing some work down there on some interviews and some show reviews, movie reviews, etc., and taking care of business down there. The place you can go to see a lot of other stuff that goes on with my other side of the podcasts. I have 3 podcasts right now. I have potentially 4, but I don't do the 4th one. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking. Then I also have Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show. And the one I just finished doing some shows and episodes on is called It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show, which concentrates mainly on entertainment in the entertainment industry in Las Vegas and other parts of the world. So anyways, with that out of the way, I encourage you both to go see all those sites. Main Street is just up and starting, and I'm going to be putting shows on there starting probably next week. Got some interviews lined up for that. That should be a kind of a fun one. That's just talking to everybody in a community, in a little town or big town, doesn't matter, and finding out what they do. What part of what in their lives are they doing to add to the community, to the city, to their faith, their family, to all kinds of stuff. I encourage you to listen to that one too, and hopefully it's up and running. I get a few more things going, because most people only have one podcast that they work on. I have 3, and don't know why I did that. I'm supposed to have retired, but I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing with this stuff, and I'm enjoying seeing some of the feedback and responses I do get on some of the shows. Anyways, folks, it is the 8th of October, like I said. Yesterday was the 7th of October. And if you were in Israel 2 years ago, or you remember this 2 years ago in 2023, you'd remembered that on that day, about 6:30 in the morning, thousands of Hamas terrorists, along with a great deal of Palestinian citizens, crossed into Israel and murdered, gunned down, raped, killed, you name it, all kinds of sick crimes. About 1,300 Israelis. 1,300. That doesn't sound much, because people go, yeah, well, we lost 3,000 on 9/11. Okay, let's do the math out on this thing really quickly so that you understand how to compare 1,300 in Israel versus what it would be here in America. If you compare out the percentage of population to how many people died, if that happened in America, it would be over 40,000 Americans would have been killed in just a few hours by a bunch of terrorists. What do you think we would have done to a nation that did that to us? What do you think would have been our response? 3,000 people and $1 trillion of damage in America happened on 9/11. We engaged in 20 years worth of war in Afghanistan, trillions of dollars spent for nothing, for absolutely nothing, for Biden just to give it all back to the terrorists. In Iraq, in other places, it's inconceivable how we went and we had this response for 3,000 of our people killed. And yet we look at Israel as like, well, it was only 1,200 or 1,300. Yeah, in America, that, like I said, would be about 40,000. We would have obliterated another nation had they done that to us. Had they killed 40,000 of our citizens in one day, we would have unleashed the dogs of war on them, and they would not exist any longer. And yet people are calling for Israel to have restraint and to be careful. And we're telling Israel what they can and can't do. I'm sorry, Israel, wipe out Hamas. Find every one of them and execute every single one of them. And then drive the Palestinians out of Gaza, or as I call it, drive them out of southern Israel back into Jordan. That's where they came from. That's where they belong. They don't deserve as a separate nation, state, whatever the rest of the world is calling for. Drive them out of there. They're nothing but problems. I'm not doing this out of hate. I'm not saying these things out of hate, but out of disgust. I'm disgusted with my fellow Americans who seem to think that everything's just fine if you stand out there and you walk with pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian terrorists in the cities of this nation and support them and then call Israel as being the problem. No, Israel is not the problem. I don't agree with everything Israel does, but I support them when they're defending themselves. I support them when they're fighting Iran. I support them when they're taking on Hezbollah, when they're taking on the Houthis, when they're taking on Hamas. I would say we need to give them everything we have and let them unleash absolute hell on all of those people. And treat Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Iran like the animals that they are. As far as I'm concerned, Israel should drive, like I said, the Palestinians out of southern Israel in Gaza and drive them back into Jordan. Let Jordan deal with it. Or let another Arabic nation deal with them. Another Muslim nation. Let them set them up a homeland. Israel will never give up their homeland. They will never acquiesce to the demands of Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Iran, or any other terrorist nation like Qatar. So, why do we feel we have a right to tell Israel how far they can push it, how far they can execute the war on Hamas? As far as I'm concerned, if I was in control of this situation in the White House, I'd be very simple. Hey, Israel, do whatever you want to do with them. We've got your back. What do you need armament-wise? It's on a ship, it's on planes, it's coming to you. And go in there and just wipe out everything in Gaza. Level it. don't know why this is so difficult. 40,000 Americans, comparative, would have been killed. We would have done whatever we wanted, but we feel we have the right to tell somebody else what they should do when they're attacked. We are quite the arrogant nation at times. Granted, we are the one nation that's trying to maintain freedom in the Western world and throughout the world. And the Western world just has decided now throughout Europe, through all these other places, especially England. England is nothing but a failed nation. They are a sympathetic, Muslim sympathetic nation, and they commit atrocities against the citizens of England in favor of Muslim terrorists, invaders. That is the problem. Israel. My thoughts and prayers are with you on this 2 years of war you've had to execute by yourself and had your hands tied behind your back. You would have had this war over and done with within 6 months. Hamas would have been destroyed. They'd all be dead like they should be. And the Palestinians, if you allowed them to stay there in Gaza, you could have driven them right into a corner, walled them out, and said, there, you can live there. You're not getting anywhere near Israel, though. It's not being cruel or inhumane to treat the Palestinians like the terrorist-supporting people that they are. They voted for Hamas to run their nation. They, or their area, Gaza, they voted in support of Hamas after October 7th. Like 90% support from the people of Gaza, the Palestinians, saying that it was a great thing that Hamas had done. And you want me to feel sorry for the Palestinian people? No. They're just as much animals as Hamas. They are simpatico. They are the same. Why do we feel a need that we have to do separation? Palestinians killed Jews, Israelis, on September 7th. They went in there with Hamas and helped them and murdered all kinds of people, hacked babies to death, gang raped women, cut babies out of their mothers' bellies and then stabbed the baby in front of the mother and then kill the mother. Kill parents in front of kids. Kill kids in front of parents. And you want us to be sympathetic to the Hamas and Palestinians? So here we are 2 years later, and we're seeing America and Egypt trying to force a peace treaty between Hamas and Israel. Israel, don't do it. Israel, tell America, tell my president, tell my people here, we're not doing it. We are going to stay on the hunt, and we're going to hunt down every rabid animal done in Hamas, and we're going to hunt them down and execute them. When we're done with that, we will decide what we're going to do with the Palestinians in Gaza. But we're planning on driving them out of there. It is Israel. There is no such thing as the Palestinian states. There's no territories, anything. That doesn't exist. It's Israel. The land is Israel. the nation, is Israel. There is no West Bank. There's Judea and Samaria. Just because Jordan grabbed that area many years ago doesn't mean that it's theirs. It's Israel. Drive Hezbollah and the Palestinians out of there too, back into Jordan. If Jordan wants to claim that territory as theirs, call it the West Bank, and the Palestinians are there, just move the line back. 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles back into Jordan. Say, here, these are your people. We found them wandering around in our country. You might want to keep an eye on them because they're all terrorists. Israel, I know you're in a difficult spot. I know it's difficult when the rest of the world condemns you and the one friend that you thought you had, America, is also putting pressure on you to acquiesce to demands of the Arab nations. It's easy for me to sit here and say, don't do it, but I know that you have much bigger problems and much bigger goals you have to keep in mind, and keep friends on your side, and keep alliances at least in the best shape that you can. I know it's hard. You're walking a tightrope. And I'm disgusted that our nation is making you walk that tightrope instead of just unleashing. Personally, I don't know why we didn't go into Gaza and go hunt down these Hamas terrorists with all these Americans that had been captured and taken hostage. I'm sorry, I know for the first year and a half it was Joe Biden's mess. But President Trump's been in there for 8 months? And I would have been on day one sending in everything I have on storming the shore and storming the beach and going into Gaza from another direction and finding my citizens, whether they were dead or whether they were alive, but I would be hunting down Hamas terrorists with Israel and exterminating them. The world is coming apart at the seams. But it doesn't mean we have to give in to it. I feel sorry for the little Palestinian children who are going to be raised to hate. Just like I feel sorry for the kids that are going to schools, public schools, and colleges and being indoctrinated to being Marxists. Both are death cults. Both are evil. We need to stand with Israel 100% and do whatever we can do to help them. So Israel, keep going. Say what you need to say to the rest of the world to appease them, but just keep doing what you're doing. Don't do what the rest of the world is asking you to do. Stand up and fight against these terrorists against these evil people that are all around you. I'm with you, Israel. I don't know who else is with you. Anybody listening to this, I hope you're with Israel also. And you stand up and you make your voice be heard. Those nations that don't stand with Israel, God will not stand with you. Israel, whether you like it, whether you believe it, whether you care about it or not, Israel is God's covenant people. He has a covenant with them. It means a holy promise. He has no such thing with the Palestinians, with the Arabs. Has it with Israel. If you're going to be blessed, if your nation will be blessed, you need to bless Israel and stand with them. So, folks, that's about it for right now. That's all I have to say about that. No, I'm not going to say it like Forrest Gump this time. Once in a while, I will do that. But until then, folks, we will see you, or I'll have another episode on here again soon. And until then,
You've been listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking.